what might we see from the dollar next week as the market holds above the support area, and how will that affect pairs like the EURUSD, the pound USD, the dollar yen, and also gold? That's what we're talking about in today's weekly forecast for the week ending March 1st, 2024. And if you've been waiting to join our VIP group, I have an incredible offer for you this month that you're not going to want to miss. So click on the link at the top of this video, and you're going to be taken to my recommended broker, Blueberry Markets. Right now, we're running a promotion, guys, through March 12th. And the really cool part about this is this section right here. So you're going to get lifetime access to our VIP group if you deposit $200 or more with Blueberry Markets using my link. So that means you're going to get lifetime access to real-time market discussions in Discord. You're going to get exclusive charts and setups, daily videos. You'll be able to see my trades in real time. Plus, you're going to get lifetime access to the upcoming course. All for depositing just $200 or more with my broker. And also, you'll be entered to win a DJI Mini 4 Pro drone if you trade at least one lot before March 12th. All right, so again, this is a limited time offer, guys. So be sure to see the link in the description of this video, or if you're on the website, click on the broker link here at the top of the page, and you'll be taken directly to the Blueberry Markets page to sign up. So that's all you have to do, guys, for lifetime access to the VIP group. You don't have to pay me a dime. All you have to do is come over here, open up an account, fund it with $200 or more, place a single trade by March 12th, and you will have lifetime access to the VIP group, plus a chance to win that drone. All right, so kicking things off here with the DXY. And by the way, if you guys did sign up to Blueberry Markets over the past week, I will get to you guys over the next day or two. So I'll get you guys added to the VIP group shortly. We have had a lot of requests, so just bear with me as I get to each and every one of you. Okay, so looking here at the DXY, we do have the market still in an uptrend. Although, like we've talked about recently, this 104.45 level was lost right back here. So you can see that this was a key level through here, and also resistance right here on this rally. And we did get the DXY closing above and then closing back below. So technically this up here is a fake out or deviation, and we get the market closing back below. And since that time, we have seen weakness from the dollar. So that was all kind of expected following the close back below 104.45. However, now the market is testing this area between 103.5 and 103.8. So if you've seen recent videos, one thing that I was mentioning when the DXY was back here in this area was that we could see a move down here to sweep these recent lows and test this area back here. So that's what we saw last week here on Thursday with this wick. And you can see where Friday was pretty much a wash with the market going sideways. So the big question now is, do we get the DXY pushing higher from this area to continue this uptrend that we've seen since late 2023? So right here at the end of 2023, we had the DXY bottom out. And if you guys will remember, this reclaim at 101.9, okay, this right here to start 2024, this is when I flipped bullish on the dollar. Okay, so that right there was bullish. And since that time, we have seen the market put in higher highs and higher lows, despite the fact that it has been really sideways. Okay, there have been times here so far this year that have been difficult to trade. And I think that this time right now is kind of one of those times where, yes, we're seeing the DXY hold above support. However, ultimately, for the past few weeks, the market has been very sideways. Okay, so you do have to be a little bit careful here. Although one thing that we could see this week is we have this wick down here from Thursday. And even though we saw a retrace on Friday here, we could see a little bit of more of a dip down here in this area. And then from there, it's really going to be key what we get from the DXY. Do we see it closing back down here, which would be bearish for the dollar, especially if we take out these lows? Or do we see the market bounce from here back here toward 104.45? And at that point, this level is going to be critical to determine where the DXY goes over the longer term. If we see it reclaim this region up here, okay, close back up here in this area, and especially take out 105, then this trend is likely to continue. Okay, so ultimately for the DXY, guys, it is going to come down to what we get around this area. Do we see the DXY close below this, okay, on the daily, or do we see it close back above 104.45? That, in my opinion, is going to dictate what we get here over the next few weeks from the dollar. Now, one thing that I do find interesting is if we go here to the 4 hour, and I want to take a look at this before we talk about pairs like the euro and the pound, because this could be significant here, is if you notice from up here at this high, if we connect the trend line off of some of these recent highs here during this downtrend, okay, what you're going to notice is that we have this high from back here. We've got this one, this high, and also this closing price. And notice what happened here at the end of last week. Okay, now this was a Friday, so low volume, so you do have to be careful, and this could fail. Okay, if the DXY closes back down here, then this would be off the table. However, if we see the DXY bounce from this area down here and hold above this, okay, this week, then that could be indicative of a turn higher toward some of these areas like up here around 104.2 and potentially back there toward 104.45. All right, so a slight breakout on Friday from the DXY, but it is going to take more price action here on Monday and Tuesday from the DXY to really dictate whether or not this is a confirmed breakout or not. So one thing we've talked about with the EURUSD is the fact that the market is holding below this trend line from 2022. So you can see that off of this low, we've got all these lows through here throughout this consolidation, and so far the market is holding below this. Now, last week on Thursday, we did get a flush of some recent highs, okay, following the inflation data out of Europe. And you can see where this candle right here on Thursday, all right, this was an 83 pip range, so a pretty decent sized candle. And what you'll notice is that it filled in this big red candle back here. I talk about this a lot, but you can see how once the euro closed below this, we never got a retrace through this area until last week, okay? So this served to fill that imbalance that we saw from this candle. And it also served to show us that this level, this trend line from 2022 is still significant. Okay, so in my opinion, this area through here this week, right around 1.085, that's going to be your resistance level on the daily chart. Again, these are the lows down here. You can see the market never closed below it. And so far that is serving as resistance. Now, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, this kind of lines up with what we saw on the DXY, that 4-hour chart I just showed you, where you can see how off of these lows, we do have a channel here off of these recent lows. And you can also see where on Friday, we got a very slight breakdown. But like I mentioned with the DXY, I do need to see some more price action over here on Monday to decide whether or not this is a breakdown. And what you'll also notice too, is that last week, okay, on Thursday, following that sweep of this candle back here, remember, this was the imbalance that we saw filled in here on Thursday. And what you'll notice is this is the location of that trend line. And we got to close above and it closed right back below here on the 4-hour. All right, so once again, 1.085 is going to be resistance. A close above that would be bullish toward the top of this channel and this high back here. And alternatively, if we do get the EURUSD breaking down from this channel, okay, something convincing down here, then I do think we're looking at a run down here toward levels like this. Okay, so if we plot this out, this level is going to come in somewhere down here around 107.90. All right, so you can see this high from right back here. We've got this low, and then of course, this region down here around 1.073. So next up, we have the pound here, which overall, I still like the technicals. We've talked about this a lot where, ever since 2023, we had this ascending channel back here. The market broke down. We saw a rounded retest through this region. And so far, the market has been very sideways here over the past few months. So I haven't really favored trading this one just because it has been so indecisive. And you can see where last week we did get a retest of the top of this channel once again. Okay, so right off of these two candles here on Thursday and Friday. And so 1.27 is going to be key this week. However, even if we do get a break above this, you've got to be careful because we do have levels like this one right back here that could come into play just above that. Now, 1.26 has really started to break down. So this is one that I would probably just go ahead and take off the chart because it did look significant back here, okay, during this price action. However, a lot of times when you do get a market going sideways like this and being indecisive, it really starts to break down and becomes difficult to use as a pivot. So, notice through here, if you draw it from these lows down here, we had the market close above, close back below, and now it's back above. So it's not really telling us a whole lot as far as where the pound could go here over the coming days, but I do think it's going to come down to levels like 1.27, and then of course levels like 1.25 back here. Now this low didn't quite test that key level right there around 1.249, so that could be something that comes into play, but it's going to depend on what we get from 1.27. Now I haven't looked at the 4-hour time frame here, but let's see if we can identify something that could be an early indication this week. Okay, so once again, I do have to stress though, if you're trading this market, I don't favor this as much as something, even like the euro. I think the euro has better technicals right now in the short term. But if you look here off of these lows, we do have something here off of this recent low from right back here. So you can see that this does cut off a few wicks. However, that's okay as long as the market doesn't close below it. And we've also got this low from right back here. So the pound does have some room here to move lower this week and still be above support. However, if it does close below this trend line right here, then that could be an indication of the move lower. And once again, this area up here around 1.27 is going to be resistance for the pound this week. So next up, let's take a look at the dollar yen here, which over the longer term, since 2022, we've talked about this before, but you can see that we do have this trend line off of these lows from back here. And we've also got the multi-year resistance up here at 152. So technically, if we were to get a close up here over the coming weeks and months, then it would confirm this as an ascending triangle for a significant move higher over the coming months. However, that is going to be resistance now for the dollar yen. And like I've mentioned recently too, significant levels like 152 sometimes act as magnets for price. So considering the fact that the dollar yen has now exceeded every single fib level off of this recent decline, okay, so you can see that even the 786 comes in down here. The fact that it's exceeded all these levels tells me that it is likely that we see the dollar yen move up here toward 152 over the coming days. Okay, so that in my opinion is going to be valid as long as the market stays above 149.7. So this one back here, these highs, this is going to be the must hold for bulls. As long as the market is above this level, I do favor a move back here toward that multi-year level around 152. However, a sustained break back below this would be bearish and expose areas like 148.35. Now, one thing that we did talk about last week is on the 4-hour time frame, you can see where we did have the dollar yen breaking out here from this trend line off of these recent highs. All right, so consolidation here above that key support level. And we also had the market breaking above this recent high from back here. And so far, you can see it did test that level again on Friday. However, technically it did hold up. So, quite sideways right now, not a lot of momentum, still, pretty sideways here after closing above 149.70. But like I said, as long as the dollar yen maintains above this key level down here on the higher time frames, I do favor a move back here toward the 152 multi-year high. Just keep in mind too that this level around 151 is also going to be resistance. All right, so last up, let's take a look here at gold, which did break down from a trend line off of the October low from back here. All right, so we've had a rounded retest so far. You can see where back here at 2000, we had the market closing below, and it then reclaimed it right through here, which was a bullish indication for gold. And so far, we've seen it come right into that 2040 resistance level that we've talked about. So this trend line now this week is going to be one to watch as a close back above this, okay, and especially this one up here around 2050. A close above this area could be bullish for gold. However, you've got to be careful with that because like I mentioned recently, you've got this macro level that goes back several years. So if you look at the weekly chart, you can see that this level around 2080 goes all the way back here to 2020. So even though we could see a more macro breakout from gold over the coming weeks, really, do you want to be getting long here above 2050 when you know that 2080 is a significant level that goes back to 2020? And personally, that's not something I would want to do. It doesn't mean that gold can't turn bullish, but as of right now, while it's below this area right back here, these recent highs, I simply can't get bullish on gold, and this right here wouldn't be something I would trade if it does reclaim. Now, alternatively, if we see on Monday or Tuesday the market move up here and give us something bearish, okay, at this area here, then that could be a short for a move back down here toward the 2000 area and potentially 1975. All right, so ultimately, this one is kind of tough to trade right now because there is no signal to go short. And at the same time, even though the market could reclaim this for a push up here toward 2080, like I said, do you really want to be getting bullish on gold up here when you've got that macro resistance just above this 2050 area? Be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon for notifications. Don't forget to smash the like button and also claim your 70% off lifetime access to VIP or join Blueberry Markets. Deposit $200 or more and you will get lifetime access. But you have to do that before March 12th. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys. I will talk to you again on Monday.